Hey guys, Endgame Live again. That's right, we're going to be doing this a whole lot for baseball this season. Almost ready for opening day. I keep saying that because I'm that excited. We're just 3 days away. Now, before the actual season starts, you still have time to get in on some not only best ball action, drafts, but I want to show you some pick'ems. I thought this would be a good time to go over it because you're doing the drafts, you squeeze them in the last minute, or if you are like me and you love slow drafts, which I love slow drafts, they're not that slow anymore because with just a couple days left, you can't go through 20 rounds with 8-hour clock. So they're sped up. And realistically, a lot of people just aren't doing last second drafts. I like the last minute draft, but that's just me. I like any kind of draft. But I want to point your attention to this. It takes just a few seconds if you know what you're doing. And even if you don't, it takes just a few minutes. You can do some MLB season long pick'ems. So I'm talking about Underdog. Obviously, if you don't know about Underdog yet, then you probably haven't watched the channel very much. We are partnered with Underdog for baseball and football, and it's a great site. You go to Underdog and you can download the app, or you go to the link that will be in the description. But use code ENDGAME because when you use that code, you get still a 100% deposit match up to $100, and then you're playing with house money for your first $100. And there's a good chance you'll win something. Now, I'm going to try to help you with that because we're going to go through some of my favorite pick'ems for season long. So, wanted to let you know that besides drafts, yeah, that's the fun part. I love drafts as well, but you can do picks every day for every game. So many players you're going to have to choose from. If you're familiar with this because you came over from the football channel, you do this every week with some of those top football picks. Baseball is a marathon. It's a long season. There's a lot of games. Every day you can have your choice. But what some people prefer is to set some of those season-long higher or lowers, and you could do some picks right now. You still got a couple of days to get in on this. So I'm going to show you what there is right now. And of course, depending on when you watch this, it could change. You might have some picks that move, but I doubt it. I really don't think there's going to be much that changes. Hopefully no more injuries from now until opening day. So I'm going to go through and show you the ones that I have personally taken, either higher or lower. And also I'm going to tell you the ones I'm not taking. That's just as important. Nobody wants to make, a bad pick here because then you're just kind of throwing your money away, to be honest. I will get to some comments eventually, but I'm probably not going to try to switch back and forth between my screens too much. So if you got questions about a specific player, a specific pick, or just anything, or just want to say what's up, go ahead and do that. But I'm going to go through these picks right now and tell you. Now, first of all, when you're on Underdog, you're going to have a lot of choices here. The pick'ems is the first thing. We just show you how I got here. If you aren't familiar with this, and the home screen, NBA usually pops up first, at least right now, because that's the biggest thing that's going for regular season. But you don't really have to go too far down. You see right here, MLB season. All right, it's very important. If you go down, you see MLB, that's going to be for the games every day. And right now, it's spring training. Once you get to your everyday, regular schedule, yeah, you're going to do those MLB picks there. But I'm looking at the season-long picks. All right. Now these you set, you forget, you come back a few months later and see how you did. So let's do that. Now, all MLB season, the first thing you're going to see, of course, is a Yankee. It's Aaron Judge. Now, I've talked about Aaron Judge, of course, on several videos. Here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going higher on home runs for Aaron Judge. The immediately reaction now, the reason I'm telling you this is it's not a coincidence his name is first here, right? Biggest market there is, biggest name player on that team. You want to take the higher on the best home run hitter in the league. But here's the thing. You might not know. 44.5. Yeah, Judge can easily do that. If he stays healthy. Here's what you might not know. Everybody remembers. Yeah, what about that season? He crushed 62 home runs. Yeah, that was great. Did you know that 2 of the last 3 seasons, he didn't even get 40 home runs? Might not have known that, okay? You need to be out there all the time to accumulate stats, and he may do it, but I'm not betting on it because it just seems to be one thing after another. And look, he could still get to 40 home runs, but am I going to really take the higher on him getting 45? I'm not going to do it. I'm not taking lower either. I'm just leaving this alone. All right. I'm not going to go. The temptation here is you want to say, yeah, he can do it. He can do it, but I don't want to count on it. Then you see some big names, Trey Turner. I do like Trey Turner. I think he'll have a better season this year. He had some distractions last year, but let's keep going. All right, I'll tell you the ones I really do like the most. Ronald Acuna, I mean, this seems obvious, right? The home run total here, less than 40. The stolen base total, less than 60. Hey, I don't hate it. Look, if I'm going to pick one, I would say probably I would go for the home runs. But this isn't one of my favorites either, so I'm going to keep going. Mike Trout, okay, everything I just said about Aaron Judge, same thing. I'm just not going to touch this right now. Just not. All right, so let's keep going. Now, here's the one I am taking. Juan Soto in Yankee Stadium, home runs. I'm going lower. Now, why would I go lower on this? Juan Soto is not a slugger. He is really not a power hitter. He has power, of course, 30 plus, and he can get more than last year, but I don't think it's automatic, and I don't think that he's going to see a bump up in the home run total. So right now, I would say I'll go with the lower on that. And you do notice that sometimes you'll see a pick here. It's got the little pepper here, a little spicy pick. But look, you're talking a 1.1. It's not double. It's not anything like that. So don't be swayed by this. In the multi-home run games, again, I don't feel like Soto's in for a ton of multi-home run games. So I'm going to ignore that too. All right, let's keep going. Some big name players. Now, this one caught my eye. Elly De La Cruz. Polarizing player. Obviously super exciting. Speed, power, glove. Yeah, who cares? It's fantasy. Okay, so what are we doing with Elly? Now, he's going to most likely be in the lineup every day for a full season. Didn't have that last year, of course, got called up midseason. So what are we expecting from him? Some people expect 40-40. That's ambitious, but it's possible. So now you look at the home runs, 22.5, and then you look at steals, 41.5. So you think the home runs might be more doable. I'm going for the steals. I think that the stolen bases are a better way to kind of assess Elly in terms of his upside, what he brings to the table, because he's going to run, right? Regardless, he's going to run. I definitely think the home runs are doable. So it's not like I wouldn't take that pick either. But if you think about just last year, the Reds, this offense, Elly De La Cruz didn't even play in 100 games. And he still got you, what was it? 35 stolen bases. So it seems to me this is definitely doable, right? I think he can definitely get to the steals. I just feel a little bit better about that. Don't mind going the home runs too, but I'm going with the steals. The RBI total looks pretty low for Gallican, but remember, he's not hitting at the top of the order, at least not right now. He probably hits 6th. So the RBIs, I'm less sure about. All right. Now let's keep going here. This one, again, it just like he just needs to stay healthy, and God willing, he does. Spencer Strider, number 1 pitcher in baseball for fantasy at least. 251 strikeouts. This is interesting because I use in terms of projections, I look at ATC, done by Ariel Cohen, Fangraphs. It's kind of a amalgamation of all the other popular projections, and it does a good job of kind of averaging them out. There's more math to it I want to get into because I probably couldn't explain it right. But these are the most accurate projections. They are conservative by nature. Projections are meant to not, look for the upside, best case scenario. These are the most realistic scenarios, and they usually tend to be more conservative. ATC projects Strider for 251 strikeouts. That's a conservative estimate. All right. I think he can definitely do it. The only way he doesn't do it, honestly, is if he's extended time on the IL. Now, you don't want to count on that, but look, you're doing this with every single pick you're making anyways. So I'm going higher. I'm going Strider. All right. Moving along here, got some big name players. Again, Pete Alonso, 42. Can he do it? Yeah, he definitely can do it, but that seems fair for him. Like, this doesn't jump out to me as one that's way too low or way too high. That's what you want. You want something to really jump out and say, like, I need to take this pick because, this seems like an obvious one. I'm not there yet. Not there yet with, at least not with Alonso. All right. Same thing with Schwarber. Those seem pretty fair. The next one I'll get to that I know I already took and I do like. I'm going to go a little farther down here. And I will say this also, not taking Olsen. Look at, 50 home runs last year. Why not 42? Projected for 41, I believe, which is, again, why do they come up with this number? There's a reason, right? These aren't randomly selected. I guarantee it. I think this is reasonable for Olsen, and I'm not assuming he's going to go higher on this. So I'm going to keep scrolling. Now, I like Vlad. All right, we all like Vlad. But here's what I like. I like the hits, 164 and a half hits. I'm also going higher because I'm going to assume that Vladimir Guerrero is not taking a step backwards, but a step forward. And he doesn't really have to take a big step forward. Now, I say that as if it sounds obvious for a young stud hitter. But if you look at his hit total, this is what we're looking at, total hits. It's gone down each of the last 2 years. 2021, he had 188 hits and then 175 hits. Last year, 159. So now you look at this number and you think, well, this is assuming he is do better. At least get more hits. So I do think he'll get more hits. His batting average should go up, even if it just goes up a little bit. I think he gets this hit total, so I'm going higher on Vlad. I do think he actually gets a lot more hits. I think he could get 200 hits, but we'll see. Now, at this point, I already got 4 picks in. If you don't love any of these picks, you can swap them out, of course. You can do multiple pick'ems. You're not restricted to 5. You can do as many as you want. Of course, you can get at least 2 picks. But I'm just going to give you right now my favorite 5 picks. So I already got 4 here. By the way, if you're not feeling totally secure about all your picks, if you haven't done these before, I just want to explain so you know. You can do standard, if you can see down here, your standard payout of whatever it is you've got going. Right now, I got 10 times, go with 4 picks. You can always take some insurance. And for season-long picks, this is when I usually will. I don't usually do it for like the daily or the weekly picks for an individual game or like a week. But when I do the season long, I feel pretty good, but things happen. Of course, injuries happen. So for the season long picks, that's when I usually will do some with that insurance. And so, yes, the payout will be less, but you don't need to hit every one. So even if one of them doesn't hit, you can still win something. But we're just going to go for it on this one. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, I love Jazz, but I'm a realist. I do understand that he's had some injuries. So here we go. All right, let's keep going on to one more pick here. The one that I like, I'm going to go a little farther down. It's Luis Arias. Total hits, 176 and a half hits. Now, this is the hit master, right? This guy who can lead the league in batting average again. Let's go higher. Now, we have to look realistically. We're not looking at batting average. We have to make sure we understand we're looking for hits and is that a realistic total? So with Arias, being where the Marlins was actually a good thing for him, though you don't think it's a better hitting environment necessarily, but we're not talking about a power hitter. So his hit totals, let me tell you from the last couple of seasons, last year, 203. That was a big jump from the year before, but he can do this. We know he can do this. He's out there every day. No concerns here. I mean, this is not a guy who I feel concerned with injuries. No concern. The lineup around him is what it is, right? It's not spectacular, but it's fine. seems really low to me, to be honest. So I'm going higher on RES. And then I'm gonna say I'm full right now with a 5, but if there's another one I like, I love me some Hunter Green. I'm gonna go higher in the strikeouts. Now I don't like just the hires because sometimes the lowers, not that you can predict injury because that's not something you want to necessarily get into, but guys who you just feel might underachieve, might not do it. I will say I am all over Giancarlo Stanton. I like him. I've drafted him a lot in my leagues. But if you think he's just not going to stay on the field, you could always take the lower on him. But I'm not doing that. In fact, I did one pick 'em where I took the spicy pick here, multi-home run games, 2.5. I took the higher just to give me that little booster. So that's one thing I can do. Byron Buxton, yeah, there's a guy I'm going to take the lower on. It's probably going to be him. Those are some of my favorite picks, but again, showing you how it's done. If you haven't gone in on it yet, then check it out because at the season-long picks, it's easy to do. It's fun, and you can do this along with some last-minute best ball drafts if you want. All right, guys, we'll see you on the live show on Thursday, just so you know as well. Going to do opening day reaction, be live in the afternoon, so make sure you check us out, put notifications on so that you know as soon as that happens. All right.